is a 9-step coaching model to develop elite youth hockey players. As we can see on the screen from the bottom, the 9 steps are stance, footwork, holding the stick, first touch, running with the ball, passing and receiving, ball control and dodging, tackling, and mini hockey games. The first 4 steps are foundational, and the next 4 steps are to execute the game plan, play the game gracefully, and the 9th step, mini hockey games, is to develop game intelligence, develop players who play effective hockey, make effective decisions under pressure. The whole concept is to teach the skills in the context of the game and not in isolation. This way, the young players will enjoy because they all want to play games. Plus, they'll be able to recognize the patterns and make effective decisions during the run of play. Let's start with step number 1, which is stance. Stance will dictate the style of hockey a young player will play. Is it fluid, playing on one's toes, or it is static, playing on one's heels? Lately, the trend has been, even at the highest level, the players have been playing more static style of hockey, which is highly structured, highly robotic. Yes, it has place during the run of play, but we also like to see fluidity in the game so the grace comes back. Here, when we look at this screenshot, here are the players demonstrating various types of stance. If you look at the clockwise, here's a young hockey player. She's on her toes, her knees are flexed, her upper body is low, she's looking up to scan the field. Here is another photograph of a Dutch captain a couple of decades ago who also demonstrates a beautiful stance which allows him to play fluid hockey. He's on his toes, knees are flexed, upper body is low, stick is in the middle. Again, he's scanning the field. When your feet are apart, shoulder width, this allows you to float around, move quickly, and react to the game situations. On the other hand, if your feet are wide, far wider than your shoulder width, then you're static. Yes, there are certain circumstances when you have to be in the stance to stop the ball or receive the ball, but if it's overly done, then it's not good for the player's performance and effectiveness. And also, if you look at the screen again, here's a player sitting on his heels and with the stick down on the ground, showing all his options. And there are various options the player with the ball has, and he can make the defender dance to his tune. Here are some photographs of the young hockey players when they'll come to your practice session the first time, how their stance will look like more or less. You can see the young players, they are on their heels, they have a wide stance, they're not holding the stick right. On the other hand, the young players their knees are not flexed. So this is just to show you that how they will look. And in this slide, I want to show you that if you don't correct this stance when the players are in their early teens or pre-teens, and you let it go, and here, even when they're playing the Olympics, they will carry their bad habits with them and be punished. Here is a US hockey player playing in the London Olympics 2012. Her stance is very wide. She receives the ball but cannot react to the direction of the ball. It touches her feet and results in a short corner, and the South African team scores a goal from that short corner. This was a very crucial match. I won't go into more details, but just want to let you know how little things make big things happen, good big things and bad big things. So be thoughtful of these little things, that how important they are. Now we like to show you some slides of how a good stance looks like. Here is Sardara, one of the best hockey players in the world, who played in the midfield, showing a elegant stance. He's on his toes, knees are flexed, upper body is low, and you can see that he has the ball under control even under pressure. In this next slide, we see the German player taking a sideline free hit. Again, look at his toes. He's on his toes, knees are flexed, upper body is low, stick angle, how he's holding, how he's scanning the field. Here's another example of a Australian player who's playing the deep defense. She's receiving the ball from her left shoulder and she's on her toes to make the next move. Plus, she is already scanning the field. So we want to develop these good stances right from the beginning. Here were some examples. There are basically three types of stances: neutral, offensive, and defensive. They are applied according to the way the situation demands. Here are some more photographs which demonstrate neutral stance when we look from the top clockwise, offensive stance, pass coming from the left shoulder, and then the defensive stance in action when applying a poke tackle. In the bottom photograph, we see one player demonstrating an offensive stance with the ball and other player in the pink sweat top demonstrating the defensive stance. It is, if I look at the situation more closely, it's like the right winger or center forward coming with the ball in an offensive stance and the defender making a poke tackle, and you can see that she's on her toes, the stick is in front of her, how she is being deceptive. Now I like to share a quote from a famous Golf Hall of Famer, Nancy Lopez. You can read it yourself, that how much importance she pays to these little things. In this video, we touched base with stance, which is the first step of the 9 steps player development model. The key points to keep in mind while looking at the stance of a young hockey player is that their feet should not be more apart than the shoulder width, and they should neither be too close. So please pay key attention to this. On top of this, the young players should be on their toes and not on their heels, and their knees should be flexed and upper body low. If we take care of the width of the feet, being on the toes, knees are flexed, then naturally the upper body will be also low. And this plays a big part in executing the next steps like footwork, holding the stick, and the first touch. So please be aware of paying special attention to these points in a young hockey player. Thank you very much.